Good morning, my dear students. Welcome back to Social Science online teaching classes from Vishwa Manava Residential High School. I am Mahboobi, your social science teacher. My dear students, the previous class we have learned meaning of money, importance of money, then stages of evaluation of money, functions of money, and meaning of bank and importance of bank. These points we have learned the previous class in the lesson money and credit. Now let us continue part of this lesson. One is functions of Reserve Bank of India. Second one is concept of money supply and its measurement. Third one is credit control measures adopted by the Reserve Bank of India. These points today we are going to learn in this class. Okay, my dear students, let's start. Reserve Bank of India. Reserve Bank of India, it is nothing but RBI. Reserve Bank of India is the Central Bank of India. It was established on 1st April 1935 and it was nationalized on 1st January 1949. My dear students, the Reserve Bank of India is called as Central Bank of India. It was established on 1st April 1935 and it was nationalized on 1st January 1949. Then let's move on. Functions of Reserve Bank of India. What are the major functions of Reserve Bank of India? My dear students, this question is very important in your examination. Sometimes this question asks for 3 marks or 4 marks. What are the major functions of Reserve Bank of India? My dear students, there are 7 major functions of Reserve Bank of India. One is monopoly of note issue. Second one is banker to government. Third one is bankers bank. Fourth one is national clearing house. Fifth one is control of credit. Sixth one is custodian of foreign exchange reserve. Seventh one is promotion of banking habits. There are 7 major functions of Reserve Bank of India. My dear students, let us discuss one by one. First one is monopoly of note issue. My dear students, the monopoly of note issue, the Reserve Bank of India or the Central Bank of India has the monopoly of issuing currency notes. For example, 2 rupee notes, 5 rupee note, 10 rupee note, 20 rupee note, 100 rupee note, 200 rupee note, 500 rupee note, 2000 rupee note, etc. My dear students, monopoly of issuing note, the Reserve Bank of India has issuing the currency notes, that is monopoly of a note issue. Then the second major important functions of Reserve Bank of India, that is banker to government. My dear students, the Reserve Bank of India works as a government bank. Why? Reserve Bank of India is called as government bank. Why? Because the Reserve Bank of India accepts the deposit of central and state government. The Reserve Bank of India accepts the deposits of both government. Then after, it collects money like taxes and any other charges. Then make payment of the government. It issues government bonds, treasury bills, acts as financial advisor to the government. Reserve Bank of India also extend loans, advance to central and state government. So, The Reserve Bank of India is called as government bank. Understand? Then the third major important functions of Reserve Bank of India, that is bankers bank. Why the Reserve Bank of India is called as bankers bank? Because it also acts as the bank for all banking institutions in the country. The bankers bank, it also fully acts as the bank for all the banking institutions of the country. All the banks of a country have to keep a predominant part of their deposits reserved with the RBI. The banks need additional money. The RBI provides credit to it, regulates the activities of the government banks and guides the monetary management. My dear students, the Reserve Bank of India is called as the bankers bank because it also acts as the bankers of all the banking institutions. All the banks of a country have to keep a predominant part of their deposits. All the banks of a country have a predominant part of a deposits as with the reserve with the RBI. Then after, the banks also need additional money. RBI provide credit. It regulate the activities of the banks. It guide the banking institutions in monetary management. So, the Reserve Bank of India is called as a bankers bank. Keep it in mind, very important. Then, the fourth major functions of Reserve Bank of India, that is National Clearing House. The National Clearing House, it is the settlement of transaction across all over the country. The National Clearing House, it is settlement of transactions across the bank. This function has fully helps banks to settle their bank's claim easily. Then the fifth major functions of Reserve Bank of India, that is control of credit. The Reserve Bank of India, it regulates the amount of credit issued by the banks according to the monetary situation of a country. According to the monetary situations of a country, the Reserve Bank of India, it regulates the amount of credit issued by the banks. That is control of the credit. Issuing the credit, amount of credit. Then, sixth major functions of Reserve Bank of India, that is custodian of foreign exchange reserve. My dear students, the custodian of foreign exchange reserve, it is custodian of foreign exchange reserve of the country with another country. Exchanging of amount, one nation to another nation. Exchanging of amount, transfer of amount. Custodian of foreign exchange reserve, it is buying and selling of foreign currencies. In order to reduce the fluctuations in exchange rate, it is to buying and selling of a foreign currency. So, that the custodian of foreign exchange reserve. Then, the last major functions of the Reserve Bank of India, that is promotion of banking habit. The promotion of banking habit, it is promote saving through branch expansions of the banking system. Saving through branch expansions of the banking system in all areas and financially literacy programs. So, that is promotion of banking habits. Understand? These are the various functions of a Reserve Bank of India. My dear students, in the Reserve Bank of India has play a very important role in the forming the development of Indian economy. It is playing a very important role in the development of strategies of Indian economy. It has a rich tradition of data collection, generation of using useful economic research and knowledge sharing. Understand? These are the various functions of a Reserve Bank of India. My dear students, let's move on another important concept in this lesson, that is regulation of money supply. My dear students, regulation means it is control of money supply. What is money supply? My dear students, the money supply, it is the total amount of money in circulation. The total amount of money in circulation, that is called as money supply. My dear students, in the regulation of money supply, currency notes and coins issued by the monetary authority of the country from the money supply in a country at any given time. At any given time, the monetary authority of the country from the money supply, that is currency notes and coins. But my dear students, currency notes and coins, the balance in savings or current account deposits is also considered as money. My dear students, in any currency notes and coins, the balance in saving or current account deposits is called as money. Understand? Then, in India, 4 measures of money supply are used to measure the monetary stock. My dear students, this question is very important as for your examination. Various concepts. What are the various concepts of money supply used in India? My dear students, the various concepts of money supply used in India. There are 4 major measures of money supply are used to measure the monetary stock. One is M1, second one is M2, third one is M3 and fourth one is M4. There are 4 major measures of money supply used to measure the monetary stock in India. What is M1? What is M2? What is M3? What is M4? Let us discuss one by one. My dear students, M1. M1 is equal to currency notes and coins plus net demand deposits held in commercial banks, that is M1. M1 is equal to currency notes and coins plus net demand deposits held in commercial bank, that is M1. Then M2. M2 is equal to M1. M1 plus saving deposits with post office saving banks, that is M2. M2 is equal to M1 plus saving deposits with post office savings banks, that is M2. Then M3. M3 is equal to M1 plus net time deposits of commercial bank, that is M3. Then M4. M4 is equal to M3 plus total deposits with post office saving banks, that is M4. My dear students, in the regulations of money supply, there are 4 major measures of money supply are used to measure the monetary stock. One is M1, second one is M2, third one is M3 and fourth one is M4. M1, M2, M3, M4. For the purpose of monetary management, M1 and M2 are narrow money and M3 and M4 are broad money. Keep it in mind. There are four major measures of monetary supply. In the four major measures, M1 and M2 are narrow money and M3 and M4 are broad money. In order to regulate the price situations, the RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, varies the supply of currency. It also regulates the credit lending by banks through certain measures. The measures taken to regulate credit, overall money supply in the economy and the interest rate are together called as monetary policy. Very important. What is monetary policy? The measures taken to regulate credit, overall money supply in the economy, and it create interest rate, that is called as monetary policy. Understand? And let's move on. Another important concept in this lesson, that is credit control measures. My dear students, in the credit control measures, the credit control measures are broadly classified into two types. One is quantitative credit control measures. Second one is qualitative or selective credit control measures. In the credit control measures, there are broadly classified into two types. One is quantitative credit control measures. Second one is qualitative or selective credit control measures. First one is quantitative credit control measures. What is quantitative credit control measures? My dear students, the quantitative credit control measures, it is directly affect the quantity of money available to the business and people. It is directly affect the money of the business, that is quantitative credit control measures. In the quantitative credit control measures, we can see it has broadly classified into three types. One is bank rate policy, second one is open market operations, third one is varying reserve requirements. My dear students, the credit control measures, it was broadly classified into two types. One is quantitative credit control measures, second one is qualitative credit control measure. First, quantitative credit control measures. Further, it can be broadly classified into three types. One is bank rate policy, second one is open market operation, third one is varying reserve requirements. Let us discuss one by one. First one is bank rate policy. What is bank rate policy? The bank rate is the rate which the Reserve Bank of India has lends funds to the bank. This affects the bank rate which banks can lend to these borrowers. The higher bank rate, lower the credit creation and vice versa. In the bank rate policy, we can see the vice versa. Vice versa, it is the higher bank rate and the lower credit creation. In the bank rate policy, it is the rate at which the Reserve Bank of India lend funds to the banks. My dear students, the Reserve Bank of India also varies the repo rate and reserve repo rate. Repo rate and reserve repo rate affecting the interest rate on short-term borrowing and deposits. That is bank rate policy. Then the second one is in the qualitative credit control measures, that is open market operation. In the open market operations, we can see open market operation is buying and selling of the government by the central bank from and the banks. It is buying and selling, open market operation. It is the buying and selling of the government, that is open market operation. Then the third one is varying reserve requirements or legal reserve ratio. My dear students, varying reserve requirements, the banks are obligate to maintain reserve with the central bank into two accounts. In the varying reserve requirements, it has two accounts. One is cash reserve ratio. Second one is statutory liquidity ratio. My dear students, one is cash reserve ratio. It is called as CRR. The ratio of their deposits which the banks are required to keep with RBI is the cash reserve ratio. It is required the deposits with the banks are required to keep the RBI, that is cash reserve ratio. The second one is the second major account in the varying reserve bank requirements, that is statutory liquidity ratio. In the statutory liquidity ratio, it is the minimum cash which the banks have to keep with themselves as a ratio of their deposit is the statutory liquidity ratio, that is SLR. Minimum cash with the banks have to keep a ratio of the deposit is the statutory liquidity ratio. Then in the credit control measures, the second major types, the second one is qualitative or selective credit control measures. My dear students, the qualitative or selective credit control measures, it can be broadly classified into four major parts. One is change in lending margins. Second one is ceiling on credit or credit rationing. Third one is moral suasion. Fourth one is direct action. There are four major types of qualitative credit control measures. Let us discuss one by one. One is change in lending margins. My dear students, in the changing lending margins, it is collect security is required for obtaining by loans. In the changing lending margins, we can see it required for the loans. The percentage value of the security required to be kept with banks to get the margin. It provides the percentage. It provides the required for obtaining any type of loans, that is changing lending margin. Then second one is credit rationing or ceiling on credit. My dear students, in the ceiling on credit or credit rationing, that is create limit. The Reserve Bank of India fixed the minimum amount of credit given to a particular use or any sector, that is ceiling on a credit. Fix the maximum amount of the credit, that is ceiling on credit. Then third one is moral suasion. The moral suasion, it is method of persuading the commercial banks to advance the credit. It is the advance the credit. The Reserve Bank of India does this through periodically letters and circulars to the banks. That is moral suasion. In the moral suasion, we can see a method of persuading the commercial banks to provide advance the credit. That is moral suasion. In the last qualitative credit control measures, we can see direct action. It takes direct action. My dear students, the direct action, direct control consists of measures taken by the central bank against commercial bank and financial institutions. All other methods prove ineffective. My dear students, in the direct action we can see it direct control. Direct control consists of measures taken by the central bank and commercial bank and financial institutions. Thus, the Reserve Bank of India aims at restricting the availability of credit through various measures for the purpose of regulating money supply and the effects on price and growth of the economy. These are the measures of credit control. In the credit control measures, we can see there are two types of credit control measures. One is quantitative credit control measures. Second one is qualitative credit control measures. Okay, my dear students, in today's class, we have learned functions of Reserve Bank of India. Second one is concept of money supply and its measurement. Third one is credit control measures adopted by the Reserve Bank of India. These points today we have learned in this class. Dear students, money and credit lesson. In this lesson we have learned meaning of money, importance of money, evaluation and functions of money, importance of bank, functions of Reserve Bank of India, concept of money supply and its measurement, credit control measures adopted by the Reserve Bank of India. These points we have learned in the lesson money and credit. My dear students, money and credit chapter is completed. Okay, my dear students, thank you.